7 questions every father should ask his son before he turns 18. One day your son will walk out your front door for the last time as a child. You probably won't know it's the last time. There won't be music playing, no dramatic farewell, just another ordinary day. And that's what makes fatherhood so deceptive. The biggest moments rarely announce themselves. Many fathers spend years teaching their sons what to do. Very few spend enough time asking the questions that reveal who their sons are becoming. Advice shapes behavior. Questions reveal character. Before your son turns 18, there are conversations that simply cannot be postponed. Not because 18 changes a boy overnight, but because after that, the world begins asking him questions that you should have asked first. Here are 7 questions every father should ask his son before he becomes a man. 1. What kind of man do you want to become? Most young men are asked what career they want. Very few are asked what character they want. There's an important difference. A career determines how you earn a living. Character determines how you live your life. Here's what most people never realize. A man can build a successful business and still fail as a husband, a father, or a friend. Success without character is like building a mansion on sand. It may look impressive for a while, but eventually the foundation gives way. Ask your son what qualities he admires: honesty, courage, discipline, humility, responsibility. The answer matters less than the conversation it begins, because before a young man chooses a path, he should first choose the kind of person he wants to become while walking it. 2. Who influences you the most? Every son is learning from someone. If not his father, then his friends. If not his friends, then the internet. If not the internet, then people who don't even know his name. Influence works like water flowing downhill. It always finds a path. Now think about this. If you don't know who is shaping your son's thinking, how can you know where that thinking will eventually lead? Ask him who he respects, who he listens to, who he wants to be like. Not to criticize his answers, but to understand them. Because before you can guide a young man, you first need to know who's already holding the map. 3. What are you most afraid of? Many boys grow up believing courage means pretending they have no fears. It doesn't. Real courage begins by facing them honestly. A son may fear failure, rejection, disappointing his family, being left behind while others move ahead. These fears often remain hidden because he believes admitting them would make him look weak. But here's another truth. The fears we refuse to talk about often become the fears that quietly control us. Think of fear like mold behind a wall. Hidden in darkness, it spreads. Bring it into the light, and you finally have a chance to deal with it. A father doesn't need all the answers. Sometimes he simply needs to create a space where honesty feels safe. 4. Do you know how to handle money, or does money handle you? Before a young man earns a large income, he should understand small decisions. Money isn't simply about mathematics. It's about habits, impulse, patience, self-control. Many adults earn more than enough to build wealth. They simply spend faster than they earn. Imagine giving someone a bucket filled with holes. No matter how much water you pour in, it never stays full. Poor financial habits work the same way. Ask your son what he believes money is for. Freedom, status, security, generosity. His answer will reveal far more than his future salary ever could, because financial wisdom begins long before financial success. 5. Can you admit when you're wrong? Pride has destroyed more relationships than ignorance ever has. One of the hardest lessons a man learns is that being right isn't always the same as doing what's right. Intelligent sons eventually become respected men only when they can say, "I made a mistake," without excuses, without blaming someone else. Imagine trying to steer a ship while refusing to admit you've drifted off course. The destination never changes, but neither does your direction. Humility is the ability to correct yourself before life corrects you. That skill will save your son from mistakes no amount of intelligence can prevent, because growth always begins where defensiveness ends. 6. Who can you call when life falls apart? Every man will eventually experience failure, loss, disappointment, loneliness. The question isn't whether difficult seasons will come. The question is whether he'll face them alone. Here's where many fathers get it wrong. They prepare their sons to appear strong, but they never prepare them to seek help wisely. Strength isn't isolation. It's knowing when to lean on people who genuinely care. A bridge isn't strong because one beam carries all the weight. It's strong because many supports share the load. Teach your son that asking for guidance isn't weakness. It's one of the oldest forms of wisdom. 7. Do you know that I love you even when we disagree? Perhaps this is the question that matters most. Many fathers assume their sons already know. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Love is often felt through actions, but it should also be spoken through words. One day your son will make choices you wouldn't have made. He'll disagree with you, he'll fail, he'll succeed without your help. Life will change him. But if he never doubts your love, he'll carry something priceless into adulthood. A secure relationship with his father becomes an anchor during uncertain seasons, because a young man who knows he's loved doesn't have to spend his life searching for that approval in the wrong places. The greatest conversations between a father and son aren't about grades, careers, or achievements. They're about identity, values, responsibility, purpose. Those conversations become the compass a son carries long after he leaves home. The truth is, fathers don't shape their sons through one unforgettable speech. They shape them through many honest conversations held over ordinary days. One thoughtful question asked at the right time can echo in a son's mind for decades. And sometimes the greatest legacy a father leaves isn't an inheritance. It's a conversation his son never forgets. If this lesson made you think differently, subscribe to Propel Mastery, because mastering your life begins with mastering the way you think.